Gunko is definitely the key of ending Elbaf. Imu cannot be defeated, not at least right now. And how Gunko is going to save everybody on the island of Elbaf from a complete slaughter by Imu-sama. Watch the video till the end because I am going to show you how Gunko will inevitably be the key that will save us in the island of Elbaf. But right before that, one small request, and that is to like this video, share this video to fellow One Piece and anime fans, subscribe to our channel Any-Motion. That really helps us out. And those of you guys who want to watch One Piece and anime content in Hindi, I would be sure to link our videos in Hindi down in the description and in the pinned comment. So be sure to check that out if you guys are interested. Now let's get back into the main video. So before we move on to Gunko, we have to understand that why we need her in the first place. Why do we need her to save us from Imu-sama here in Elbaf? You see, the answer is pretty clear. It is because Imu is too strong. And when Imu first appeared, he did not seem that strong. He was in fact a bit lackey, and Loki was dominating a lot of the portion of their fight. Now, Imu did stab Loki a few times, but so did Kerberos and Shamrock, and in fact Gunko also pierced Loki with her arrows when he was tied down to the wall tree in Elbaf. But hey, that's not it. When Loki was fighting Imu, he literally got a lot of upper hand moments, and that really made the viewers or the readers speculate that once Luffy team up with Loki, it is going to be a cakewalk for them. And when we got to see our most anticipated team up between Imu versus Loki and Luffy, it was time for Imu to switch on his serious mode. And then it happened. Loki and Luffy just lost within half of a chapter. This is pretty important because the main character and one of the strongest character to ever introduced in the story of One Piece just lost within half of a chapter, and this shows how strong Imu is and how much he was holding back against Loki, and he just casually stabbed Luffy. And we all know how strong Luffy's toon powers are. His cartoon powers are so strong that he turned the literal Dragon King Kaido into a jump rope. And Imu just didn't care. He casually stabbed Luffy. My guy wasn't even paying attention to what Luffy was doing. Luffy turned into a genie and Imu again didn't care. Maybe he fought Joy Boy and he have seen even crazier things. But that's not the point. The power difference between Loki, Luffy versus Imu is so high that a few chapters in Elbaf or even the whole arc of Elbaf is not enough to bridge the difference between their power. So they need even more training. Maybe a second training arc, for example. And this is where Gunko comes in, because we cannot defeat Imu by our own. Now, if you guys read last week's chapter or even watched my video about this chapter's breakdown, you guys know that in the last week's chapter, Loki somehow conveniently flew towards Gunko. He took an attack from Imu, flew from one part of the island to another, and Ragnir accidentally broke Gunko's eyes. And Imu was literally shocked to see that his Omen attack didn't do a single thing towards the eyes. That really shocked him, but Gunko is now released. That is the main point. And it was pretty weird to see someone of the size and caliber of Loki just being used as a paperweight in order to release Gunko. But it was also in the theme of One Piece, because wacky things do happen in One Piece, and that is also one of the spirit of One Piece. Now, let me present to you 3 different points that is going to make Gunko's involvement against Imu even more important. Point number 1 is the most easiest one. It is none other than Gunko's hidden eye powers or her hidden ocular jutsu. And if we learned anything from Naruto, it is that eye powers are really serious. And we don't know what her eye power is, but in Brook's flashback, it was stated that she literally had some kind of special eye ability. That is why the Celestial Dragon wanted her back. Prince Leuven did not want to give her back, and then Prince Leuven paid for that rejection with his own damn freaking life. Now I'm going to come back to the eye power again, but for now let us go to point number 2, and that is special connection with Imu. Now if you guys remembered it, there are 3 stages to Imu's abyssal contract. And it is pretty clear that Gunko belongs to the highest tier because she doesn't age. Only the Gorosei have that privilege, because even Garling, who is the freaking leader of the Holy Knights, aged And that is really important because it also seems that Gunko is also the personal assistant of IMU, and IMU's connection with Gunko is going to be even more deeper than we all thought. She is not going to be some kind of servant that IMU just throws away. She seems very special towards IMU, and maybe or maybe not, she looks like a certain someone of a person that IMU loved once upon a time. Maybe IMU is still wondering about that love part, or maybe he just cannot move on right yet. And that brings us to our third point, bond with Brooke and maybe even a self-sacrifice. Now we're going to sum up the earlier 2 points within this third point, and we're going to make everything literally pretty clear. So let us begin with bond of Brooke and Gunko from their past. We've seen in Brooke's flashback many times that how Brooke and Gunko have a very good bond with each other. Gunko even loved Brooke. Brooke loved Kendall. It was kind of a weird circular moment going on there, but Gunko literally loved Brooke. And even when she is a celestial dragon, she literally loves Brooke's music. Even when she landed on Elbaf, when they were having a kind of a tea garden party with Summers and Kirringham, she was listening to Brooke's music. This really shows that even though she has become a celestial dragon and a personal assistant to IMU, she literally still loves Brooke and his music. So she did not forget about Brooke and his music yet. Now this is where things become really interesting, because whenever IMU took control over anyone, be it Saturn or Gunko, he's always there at his own castle. Now can he take control over Gunko when he's literally present there? I don't think so. I don't think he can take control over anyone in a whim. He needs some kind of preparation, or maybe he needs to be in his castle in order to do that, or maybe he needs some kind of time in order to just transform his mind to the mind of the person he wants to control. So the point I'm making right here is that I think we're going to see the genuine deal of Gunko, not their version controlled by IMU, when she inevitably talks with Brooke in the next chapter. And it is going to be really important because she's going to recognize Brooke straight away. Even IMU did that. The afro is a literal giveaway for Brooke. Now if I have to speculate, I would say things are going to go in this direction, and that is Gunko is going to recognize Brooke. They might have a very close or very heartfelt moment together, but then everyone is going to remember that, hey, the unwelcome guest IMU is still there, so we have to do something about him. Loki and Luffy, I don't think, are going to get immediately back up, and this is where Gunko is going to use her power, which are definitely going to be her eye powers and her special bond connection with IMU, in order to send back IMU to Marijuan Castle. One thing that we learned between the fight of IMU versus Loki and Luffy is that IMU just solidified himself as a final war villain, not a villain that will be defeated right here in Elbaf. And IMU cannot be defeated by either Loki or Luffy. Their combined strength is also going to be not enough in order to bring IMU down. So in order to save ourselves from IMU, the best way is to send IMU back to the castle. Now you can ask me that, hey, how will this work? IMU can just fly back again here. He just did that. And I will say yes, IMU can just easily fly back here. He did not use a magic circle or any kind of magic circular power in order to teleport himself here. Now you have to think that IMU was not in a perfect condition when he just landed in Elbaf. He was injured and he literally seemed to be ill. And is he going to make a round trip back once he is sent back in Marijuana? I don't think so, because IMU already got a moral boost that Luffy is not even close to Joy Boy's strength. Loki is not an issue for him, and he would literally think that, haha, I cannot be defeated by them. Maybe I'll just take some rest and then just do my own thing. And we all know what IMU's special doing his own thing means. He's going to go and stare at either Joy Boy's head, or he's going to stare at Lily's image for the rest of his life. But sending IMU back is not going to be that easy, and this is where I think Gunko might even sacrifice herself in order to send IMU back. Yes, Gunko supposedly has a very special connection with IMU. Again, she is in the same level of contract that the Gorosei are, and she literally gets special treatment from IMU. That is not something that is hidden from us. It is literally shown to us. And this is where I think Gunko could send IMU back. But in order to do that, she literally needs to sacrifice herself. And this is where we might just see a special heartwarming goodbye between Brooke and Gunko for the very last time. And this is going to break literally everyone's heart, because Brook literally wanted to save Gunko for a very long period of time, but then he's going to save her, but again she's going to sacrifice herself in order to save him and the Straw Hat crew. But now this will be the end for today's theory video. I hope you guys liked it. If you guys watched this video till the end, thank you so much. Be sure to like this video, share this video with your fellow One Piece and anime fans. Be sure to subscribe to our channel Any-Motion, that really helps us out. And if any one of you guys are interested in watching Hindi One Piece or anime content, be sure to watch our channel Let's Play Anime, which provide Hindi anime content. I'll be sure to link their channels credentials in the description and in the pinned comment. So if you guys are interested, you can check that out. And if you guys have any kind of theory that you want us to discuss, be sure to write them down in the comment section down below. Now with that out of the way, I'm out. Peace.